Hi guys, starting a new series today, North Node in Capricorn. So I'm wearing my general's jacket because things are about to get serious. Capricorn is solid, Capricorn is responsible, Capricorn is serious. Probably the most serious zodiac sign and probably the most hardworking zodiac sign, the most solid, I have Capricorn South Node, so everything you're going to hear is going to come straight from the source. It's very comfortable for me to be in that sign. So, whatever I'll be speaking about is going to come from personal experience. All right, before we talk about North Node in Capricorn, we're going to talk about the South Node in Cancer. What does that mean? Your lifetimes, your previous lifetimes, your memories all have to do with being a nurturer. You guys mastered the idea of nurturing. You guys had many lifetimes where people relied on you for emotional support. You were the one who, make sure the household was fed, everybody was warm, everybody was happy, everybody was comfortable. You were the one who was, the shoulder for people to cry on. You were that mother, the mother hen. You were the midwife. You were the one that, you have a lot of lifetimes of bringing babies into this world. You have a lifetimes of nurturing babies. You have a lot of lifetimes, whether you're a man or a woman, it doesn't matter. You're going to have that. You're going to be very much in touch with your feminine energy. You're very intuitive. You know how to read people. You know how to feel emotions. Sometimes you feel them too much, but you have a lot of empathy, a lot of compassion. You always have a little, you'll always find compassion in your heart. As a matter of fact, your heart chakra is probably super open. You just feel for everybody and you want to protect everybody and nurture everybody. In the South Node in Cancer, it could also be protectors, because just as you could have been a woman in a female role, as a mother, you could have also been a protector of your home, of your land. Cancer is your homeland, your roots. So you could have been police workers. A lot of times have, associated with the sign of Cancer, being of service where you're protecting, where you are nurturing through force, maybe. Firefighters, those kind of ideas. First responders, a lot of times could kind of fit the Cancer South Node bill. So you're always there to help somebody, always there to lend a hand, to mother them. You wanted everybody around you to feel comfortable, cozy, warm, fed, happy, smiling, tucked in, and then you're like, okay, I feel good about myself. As a matter of fact, you give yourself life by always feeling like you have to nurture everybody. You always assume that role of a mother. If you're going to a party, you're probably the one that's like, hey, can I get you a drink? Hey, would you like a refill? Would you like something? Can I get you a blanket? Can I take your coat? It always comes out in you. That's how you know yourself. Another manifestation of South Node in Cancer could have been where instead of being that, that was the good part. The bad part about the South Node, because South Node is always where you went to the extreme, has to do with the idea of just as much as you were mothering, you're also smothering. You were too much. You were overwhelming with your, you were that mom that was like, you can never leave me. You have to stay with me. You have to take care of me. You could have been the mom that was, you don't know yourself unless you are nurturing somebody. Or unless you are being nurtured. You don't know yourself without people surrounding you. You don't know yourself on your own. So, smothering, being, I can't live without you. You can't leave. I know you're grown up. I know you want to go have your own family, but you can't leave me. I'm your mother. Emotional blackmail, that's there. We all know the syndrome, Munchausen syndrome, Munchausen by proxy, where the mother will keep their kids sick on purpose so that she can keep nurturing them. So she makes them better and then she gets them sick again. So she feeds them drugs, she nurtures them, she brings them soup, and she fulfills that role as a mother. But she doesn't see that, holy shit, what are you doing? This is not nurturing anymore. This is not motherly anymore. This is toxic. So toxic emotions, guilt, it's your duty. A lot of familial guilt will be there. You have lifetimes where there was a lot of, I'm thinking about nationalities where that idea of the motherhood is really strong, like Italian families, mother's always right, don't fuck with my mom, don't talk shit about my mom, that kind of idea. Jewish families where the idea of the mother, mother's always right, very matriarchal societies. So just as you are nurturing, you're also, in a sense, toxic to your kids because you never wanted to let them go and you're always involved in their life. You're always there with your fucking advice that nobody needs. You're always there meddling in their affairs, probably coming between your son and his wife, creating drama. You know, you love that family drama. You're comfortable with that. You don't know yourself without it. Another negative manifestation could be that you were, instead of being that mother that took charge and ran the household, you were maybe the one that never got to grow up. You were the one that was always a child. You were always the one that never took responsibility, the one that everybody always helped, the one that everybody always lifted up and took care of. And you never got to be in that role of a provider, of like taking charge. Whether you're a girl or a guy, you're always the one that was kind of like, I'm shy, I can't do it on my own. Can you please help me? So you are really codependent on others around you, you know. So you're always kind of like, can you come with me? Can you come hold my hand? Can you go with me to the doctor? Hey, I gotta go take care of some paperwork at the DMV. Can you come with me? You know, you always need somebody to go with you. So you did not learn to stand on your own 2 feet. With all of that said, if we move into the North Node in Capricorn in the first, you are being asked, you need to step up to the plate. Capricorn is structured. Capricorn is not emotional. Capricorn is never volatile in their emotions. Capricorn, you know, has a thick skin. Capricorn is solid, is practical, is hardworking. Like I said, it's one of the most hardworking signs in the zodiac. You know, it does not mind hard work. You need to step up. You need to step up in leadership positions. You need to step up in positions where you're taking care of yourself, because you took care of others in other lifetimes or they took care of you, but you never really stood on your own 2 feet and took care of yourself. You have to do that now. Capricorn North Node says and will do what he said. It's a very strong North Node because you're literally here to let go of those toxic ideas of family obligation, traditions, all that shit that keeps you in this obligation, duty, guilt, you know, Greek societies, everywhere where the mother is very strong. You know, those ideas, you got to get away from that. You got to be on your own 2 feet. You're here to stand on your own 2 feet. And you're going to have a lot of experiences in this lifetime where you will be left alone. You'll be left on your own. Your husband might leave you if you're a woman, or your parents might kick you out of the house, but you're here to stand on your own 2 feet. You're here to be solid. You're here to build a structure. You're here to build a career. Let's say you were always a housewife. You're here to work, guys, but don't be afraid of it because you're going to find your strength. You need to know your strength. And your strength, you can still nurture people, but you're going to do it from a leadership position. You're going to be, you know, solid. You're going to be that father figure. You know, you're going to find the masculine parts in you, bravery in you. You know, Capricorn is not afraid of responsibility. Capricorn walks into a room and says, everybody relax, I'm here. That's going to have to be you. Okay, so it could be a tough lifetime because when you go from a south node that has to do with emotions and you know, confusion and heaviness and drama, to go to a north node where it's literally no drama, self-sufficiency, self-reliance, it can be hard because you're so scared. What if I don't make it? What if I can make it on my own? Yes, you can. Okay, you're ready for it. You're ready to step into that role of CEO, a leader, director, whatever situation that calls for leadership and being on your own, you have to step into it because you'll find how fucking strong you are, and you'll blend beautifully your emotional sensitivity and your intuition with your practicality, and it's going to be a beautiful picture. Okay, all right guys, now let's dive into each house individually to see what more specifically what we're working with. Okay, bye. Don't go anywhere. North Node in Capricorn in the 9th house. Before we dive into that, let's talk about your South Node in Cancer in the 3rd and see what that's about. So when I think of Cancer in the 3rd, let's talk about the good stuff. You are a very nurturing speaker. You have probably a very nurturing, soothing voice. You're probably great at reading bedtime stories, lullabies, that kind of idea. You are funny, you know. Cancer in the 3rd could be you have you're funny. You're a funny communicator. You know, Cancer has a great sense of humor. You are very good at opening people up. You're very good at making them comfortable. You're a great listener, and you're good at knowing what to say so people open up to you. So you're very good at that. You're very good at knocking people's walls down and having them talk, having them open up to you. Very intuitive in your perception. You know, when you're listening, you're really listening. You're listening with your heart and everything. So you're really reading through the lines and stuff. What else? Very high emotional IQ, if we had to measure it. You are very perceptive in the way you think. Your thinking is influenced by your family a lot. Your thinking is influenced by traditions, by your upbringing. You know, this is what we do, this is what we don't do, this is what my grandma did, and my mom did that, and I'm going to do that, and my kids are going to do that. So when I think about examples of that would be, you know, the idea of family, like the Italian idea of family, the Latino idea of family, you know, families that are close-knit, that usually live together, and they influence each other the way they think. And a lot of times it's a very limited way of thinking because it's been passed down for generations, which means it's stagnating. There's nothing wrong with tradition, guys, but the idea is that when it's in the south node, when the Cancer is in the south node, tradition becomes stagnation because we need to keep moving forward. And so when you're constantly doing the same thing generation after generation, there's no growth. So that you see that a lot, like Russian families, you know, Eastern European families, very strong tradition and roots in the idea of like, this is our home, this is your family, you got to take care of them, they take care of you, and then you take care of them, and we're always together, and we listen to each other, and we advise each other, and the cycle continues. Another idea would be you're a very emotional speaker. You know, when you express yourself, you're either very happy or you're very sad. You know, when you talk about the idea of Italians, you know how Italians speak. They're very expressive, and you know right away what kind of mood they're in because they don't hold back. You know, when they speak with their emotions. Once again, what does that mean? Very hot-headed. You know, you lose your cool like that. So emotions are kind of on your sleeve too. You could also be manipulative emotionally, and through your speech, you can kind of play that idea of like, well, I don't know, you know, this is what I've always done. You know, that idea of that childish can be manipulative. Even if you're a grown person, you can still do that. You know, you could be manipulating people through the way you talk. You know how to press the right buttons with appeal to pity or to make them feel sorry for you or something. You know, Cancer has that. Cancer in the third can do that. What else? Superstitions, you know, a lot of thinking based on what my grandma believed, you know, a lot of old wives' tales, that would be Cancer in the third. A lot of ideas where, you know, don't go outside with your hair wet, you're going to get a cold. Things like that. You know, very superstitious, very gullible in a sense. You know, you could see, there's a couple of examples. One example is Borat, the movie Borat, you know, at the environment where he grew up in, you know, it's very close-knit and it's very like small thinking, you know, like village, like I'm thinking about that, the idea of like this small village and everybody knows everybody and everybody gossiping and everybody's very superstitious and they're gullible and they all believe that, you know, whatever their grandma told them, you know, there's no free thinking. Everybody thinks for you and you believe in that and you accept that and you hold that as truth. Another thing that I thought about, which could fit here, I watched a movie where they had to do with slavery and racism, and I kind of was thinking to myself, you know, I'm almost done with the zodiac signs, with these series. Where would racism fit under? And I found that this would be a good place for it, and here's why. Because Cancer in the fourth, Cancer in the third, and the fourth too. Cancer South Node in the third, Cancer has to do with your home, your family. And if we think about bigger picture, it has to do with your tribe, it has to do with your country, it has to do with your race. So Cancer in the third, if we're saying that it's very limited thinking, influenced by the people surrounding you, the immediate group, I'm thinking about racism could be a big one here, because you may think that your race is better than all the other ones, because that was what you bought into. You bought into the idea of your small environment around you, that your race is the best and your race is the only race that needs to exist, and the other ones are, you know, need to be destroyed, punished, whatever. That kind of idea. So like, you know, the idea of Ku Klux Klan, you know, small group of people, usually all neighbors, everybody knows each other, and they all have this dogmatic way of thinking about race and about their home. They want to protect their home, their safety, their home and everything from people who are not like themselves. You know, Cancer is, because it's so oriented in family, it can be stagnant in that sense. It can be very, you know, and they're very emotional. They're very reactive emotionally, you know, because there's a lot of anger that is present there. So I'm putting this here, whether you like it or not, fuck it, it's here. So now if we think about North Node, yeah, so just to sum it up, your thinking is influenced by emotion, tradition, what your neighbors say, what your family says, superstition, things like that. So your world is actually very small, in a sense, if you think about it. Anytime, any South Node in the third is going to have a very small world, depending on what sign is there. So if we go to Capricorn in the ninth, that means that a perfect example would be, and it's been done, where we talked about families, like Italian families, when everybody immigrated to Ellis Island. You're talking about a family or group of people who have a very set way of thinking, very superstitious, maybe immature, kind of the idea of like the new world out there. That's what they called America, the new world. And Europe was the old world. So they take all their stuff, they take all their parents, and they move them. They get on a boat and they move to explore the new world. This would be a perfect representation of North Node and Capricorn in the ninth, where you take your power, where you say, you know what, I'm done with this. I don't want to live in this freaking village anymore. I don't want my kids to grow up in this village. I want to change my life. I believe in myself, my own power. I'm cutting cords with my family, whoever doesn't want to come, and I'm moving. Capricorn in the ninth. You're taking your power back. You have to stand on your own 2 feet. You have to be mature thinking, mature expression. No more baby talk. No more appeal to pity. No more superstitious thinking about what's going to happen if I, don't. I don't know, what superstitions do you guys have? You guys know your superstitions. So very clear, mature, grown-up thinking. Rejecting ideas that you grew up with. I challenge you. I dare you guys to do that, and to understand that there's a bigger world out there, that there's a world that you don't have to be afraid of. Because Cancer, in the third could be fearful thinking. This is where the racism would be too. I'm afraid of them. They're a threat to me, So we need to get together. We need to protect our home, our race, whatever. So once again, Cancer in the third, fearful thinking. In the ninth, with Capricorn, you have to be empowered thinking. You take responsibility for your words. You don't just listen to everybody who tells you what to believe. You come in, you step into your environment, you go explore, you move away. You move away in all kinds of ways. You move away physically from your family, you move away emotionally from them. You basically kind of, take a hold of your emotions. You can still be nurturing in the way you talk, but maybe, kind of hunker down, don't be so reactive when you speak. Don't be right away. Somebody says something and you explode. Once again, I'm talking about Italians. I'm talking about Latino people, Greeks, Russians too, very emotional, very like, if I love you, I love you. If I hate you, I hate you. And I have no problem expressing it. So cool down your temper, cool down the way you express yourself, stand behind your words, stand behind what you say you're going to do. Capricorn is very responsible. Capricorn is not afraid of hardship, is not afraid of the new. Capricorn is all about hard work and taking charge. So take charge of your world. Get away from your small world. Get away from your small thinking that's influenced, that dogmatic tradition idea, that small village mentality where everybody talks about it, everybody knows everybody, that safety and security that you want so much. Get away from that and explore the outside world. Get an education. Capricorn in the ninth, some serious studying, find a subject that interests you, something that's totally opposite of what you've learned all your life. Question the things that you've heard from your parents. Question that traditional thinking. Question that, see the emotional manipulation maybe that's around you, where people, say things just to get you to do stuff, because Cancer is an awesome sign, but it's in the south. If it's in the south node, it can be very draining. It can be very toxic emotions, family, all that shit. Get away from that. Explore the world out there and find out for yourself your own truth, what you believe in. Things about religion, things about travel, read books. Get away from that small family thinking and go explore. All right, guys, and decide for yourself. And speak with authority, make yourself heard.